Good morning, good morning. Oh my goodness. Many of you are back for round 2 from yesterday. Thank you. That's amazing. I see a lot of friendly faces. Excited to be with you this morning and to talk about digital marketing at the crack of dawn. So if you aren't awake yet, you will be by the time Patrick and I are done this morning. We'll have you up and ready for the day for sure. 10:22. Thank you.
Everyone got that?
Yeah.
Everyone got her iPad unlock code, right?
All right, so this morning we are doing digital lead generation, and we're going to be talking about how to attract your ideal leads. Can anybody use more ideal leads? Yes. Instead of the ones that can't afford your homes or don't want to build where you build and all of those things, what we're going to do today is talk about how to get more of the kind that you're looking for. The handout to today's session is available at this address, and you can download it there. You can also hand me a card at the end that says slides written on it, and we'll be happy to email it to you, and we will not put you on a list, we promise. I have a co-presenter today. I'm so excited to have the fabulous Patrick Allmond with me here today from Oklahoma City. Patrick owns a digital marketing agency there that specializes in service-based businesses. I also am a digital marketing agency owner in Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, I want you to think about and visualize in your mind who is your favorite action hero. Who's your favorite action hero? Are you a Marvel comic, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman kind of person? Any of those in the audience out there? Okay. Wonder Woman, Daryl, I love that. Okay, I'm all about it. Maybe you're a Star Wars fan, Luke Skywalker, or maybe you're a you-know-nothing Jon Snow, Game of Thrones person, right? For me, 2 of my favorite action heroes are in fiction in David Baldacci's books. Anybody else a David Baldacci fan? He writes mystery, thriller types of books that mostly involve a wide-ranging either terrorist plot or government conspiracy. And in his books, there are 2 action heroes. There's Will Robbie and Jessica Reel. Will Robbie and Jessica Reel are trained assassins. And their job is to save the day, either stop the terrorist or figure out the government conspiracy and be the heroes. But just like your favorite action hero, Jessica and Will often find themselves completely outmanned, outgunned, the underdog in the situation. And they have to figure out how they're going to save the day despite the fact that they're actually the underdog. And in these books, they always manage to save the day by being more strategic than their bigger, more well-funded, better opponents. So it's their strategy and their precision. They never miss the mark. So today, Patrick and I are your Will Robbie and Jessica Reel. And we're here to help you in the next 60 minutes attract more of your ideal leads to your business by being more strategic and precise with your marketing. You don't have to be the biggest player in your market to be the winner and to attract the leads that you need into your business. All you need is the right digital marketing strategy, and that's where we're going. So for me, I'm going to be talking about Google. Google, the 800-pound gorilla in the room with every digital marketing, no matter what it is. Fact number 1 is you must have a presence on Google. How many of you are currently doing any kind of Google marketing, whether you're doing SEO or Google AdWords? Okay, a fair amount of you. Excellent. So we're going to dig deep into this, hopefully give you some advanced stuff, since many of you are doing it. But it absolutely is true that without a sound Google marketing strategy, you are missing the largest percentage of possible ideal leads out there. I'm going to talk about Google, and then we're going to hand it over to Patrick for a few minutes, who's going to talk about the other 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is Facebook. And between those two sources of traffic, you're going to be able to attract your ideal leads. So just to level set and make sure that we all are talking on the same page. I know this is a little basic. Trust me, I'm going to pick up steam in just a minute. I want to make sure we understand our terminology. So when we say Google pay-per-click, or we say Google AdWords, we're referring to the very top of the page, and you'll see the little ad next to it. And these are the ads where you pay per click. You set a monthly budget, which is divided into a daily spend. When someone Googles your phrase, I put new homes in Raleigh, North Carolina in, since that's my market. If someone Googles that, and that is one of the phrases you are bidding on, then your ad will appear as long as you have budget every day. All right, so then when we talk about Google organic search, we are referring to the listings below the Google AdWords, and we're referring to these listings here. And these only happen if your website has been properly optimized through a process called search engine optimization. Okay? So we all got it? We got Google AdWords, paid ads at the top of the page, and we've got Google Organic or Google SEO for the listings below the ads. Okay? Okay, so how do you know? One of the number one questions that I get asked by our clients is, how do you know when to use which one? How do I know if I need Google SEO for organic, or how do I know if I need Google AdWords? Here's the advice I will give you. First of all, the Google Organic or the SEO, it's complex. The algorithm that ranks your website. Somebody give me the name of your market. Somebody yell a market out. Cleveland. So if I say home builders in Cleveland, and that's the search term, okay? In order to get your website to show up for that term in the organic listings, frankly, it's a pretty complex algorithm, and it takes quite a bit of time. The other thing I want you to know is that with your website, you can only have one focus phrase, one keyword SEO phrase per page. It's very important that you not try to overdo each page with too many organic keywords. So if you have a website that has 5 pages, how many SEO phrases can you effectively try to target to get on page 1? How many? Answer, I know it's early, but 5. Okay? Now, are you maybe going to pick up a couple extra here or there, maybe end up with 10 keyword phrases that are ranked pretty well? Sure. But for page 1 results, it's one focus keyword phrase per page. So when clients ask me, well, which one should I be doing? One of the first things I do is look at their site and see how deep the content is on the website. Because without a page, I can't optimize. The other thing about search and SEO, it's best for a long-term commitment. If you're in it for the long haul, this is your main website. This website's going to be around 3 to 5 years, refreshed in design and technology, but the URL, the address of the site, it's going to be around a while. It's not just a site that we're using for a community that's only going to be selling for 2 years, let's say. Then SEO is perfect for the long term. It also works best for broad searches in larger metro markets. So let me give you an example. This is Brighton Homes out of Boise, Idaho. Brighton Homes does single-family homes from $250 to $350. Not the biggest builder in the market, not at all by any stretch. They've got several production builder competitors there that are much larger than them. But yet, they have 25 SEO organic keyword phrases on page 1 that they've built up over time. 25. And the reason that they've been able to do that and the reason they're a good candidate for SEO is because they made a long-term commitment to SEO. They're on their 3rd year of having their site optimized every single month. They also only have 3 locations within a metro market. So let's dig into this a minute. Let's say that you're a builder and you're in a bigger market, say in Atlanta, that has Duluth, Marietta, all the sub-markets within a market. Everybody with me on that? You'd have to have a page for every one of those markets for that focus keyword to be able to get the page 1 for that. If the site doesn't have all of those pages for all of those sub-markets, that's a challenge for the organic. So that's why there are only 3 locations within Boise, Idaho. There's Meridian, there's Eagle, and Boise. That's the 3 markets. So it's very easy to optimize this site for those locations. And they are extremely active and they add a lot of content to their site on an ongoing basis. So now let's look at the contrast of doing Google AdWords. With Google AdWords, your site doesn't have to match Google's algorithm. You pay to play, baby. So if you've got a budget and a credit card, Google will happily serve ads before your website, not a problem. Google AdWords is ideal for multiple locations because you don't have to optimize a page with a focus keyword. And you can have as many Google AdWord phrases as you want. So let's take the Atlanta market example. If you want to have new homes in Marietta, new homes in Dunwoody, new homes in Canton, new homes in Alpharetta, you can have all those submarkets can easily have a Google paid ad, and it works beautifully. It's excellent for niche products in smaller markets, and Google will never admit it, right, Patrick? Never admit it. But magically, like my 9-year-old says, it's magic, Mommy. When you do Google paid ads, suddenly your SEO rankings improve. It's magic. Okay, so let me give you an example on this that's a perfect example. Mission Heights. Mission Heights is a neo-traditional community located in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's the first multi-use commercial, retail, residential of its kind in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It is a brand new concept. The home styles are a brand new concept. I've seen it in many other markets, but never in this market. So it's a very niche product. There really isn't a sub-market to Fayetteville, Arkansas, right? It's Fayetteville, Arkansas. However, Bentonville, does anybody know what Bentonville, Arkansas is the home to? Walmart. You guys are good, Walmart. So how would you cannot optimize a community website for a neighboring community like Bentonville because Mission Heights isn't located there. You could try to organic rank that all day long, but at the end of the day, Google's gonna rank Mission Heights for Fayetteville, Arkansas. You can't convince Google to rank you for Bentonville because you're not located there, but you can do Google ads. So this is where, to attract your ideal leads, what you're gonna wanna do is pick the right tool. And depending on how many markets you're in, how deep the website is, how much content you have, what your budget is, that's where we're gonna pick, are we gonna do Google organic search, Google paid ads, or maybe we're gonna do a little bit of both. So Mission Heights is a perfect candidate for Google AdWords because they're targeting nearby cities and towns that are not actually where they're located, but their buyers would be commuting. So we'll put the Google ads out on that one. It's a brand new product. It's a brand new community. It's gonna take a lot more work to get people to know it. It's a niche product and they needed fast results. They hadn't sold a home yet. And so they needed fast results. You give Google your credit card, get the account set up, and within 24 hours, you have Google ads displaying. Unfortunately, with Google Organic, it can take months and months and months to get a page 1 ranking. Before I hand off to Patrick, my advanced tip for those of you that are already doing these things, when you are in your Google Analytics, that's your website reporting tool, I want you to not just look for quality visits, not just quantity of traffic. When you're looking at where is my traffic to my website coming from, I want you to look at the quality of the traffic. So for example, with Google AdWords, we can see that new homes carry, the search phrase new homes carry, is producing the most clicks to the website. We can see how much that phrase is costing per click, and we can see what the bounce rate is. That's where the star is. The bounce rate is the percentage of people who come to your site as a result of this Google search and only look at one page of the site and then they're out. So you want to look at the quality. Quality of traffic is determined by bounce rate, and also this last one here is conversions. This is the only phrase out of these 4 phrases for Google AdWords that converted a lead on the website. This is ideal lead generating, because I'm looking at not only how much quantity I got, but I'm looking at how long they stayed, what they looked at, and did they convert into a website lead. Okay, Patrick Allmond, everybody.
Thank you, young lady.
Thank you, young sir.
I'm actually going to go back on her advanced tip a little bit, not to contradict her, but to point out something that I think Meredith and I take for granted doing Google AdWords. And does anybody else here do this Google AdWords for your business right here? So does anybody here want to do it but's afraid to do it? There should be a lot more hands of that. There's a lot more fear. Come on, be honest, it's early. One of the things I take for granted, and I'm kind of curious if Meredith sees this when she onboards new clients, is how people do these phrases on the left-hand side. Way too many times when people set up those phrases, it's very subtle, but do you notice in the front of her phrases there's plus signs? More often than not, when people are setting up new Google advertising, they will just put in new homes carry as 3 words with nothing in front of them. That's a general search, which means anything that hits pretty much new or homes or carry will come up for that. Google has something called phrase matching and exact matching. If you're in Google AdWords right now, or you're thinking about Google AdWords, please look into phrase matching and exact matching. I get them confused, Meredith. Is plus, phrase, or exact?
Exact, baby.
Exact. So that means basically that, and correct me if I'm wrong, new plus homes plus carry must be in the search phrase, right?
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Right.
It has to be the exact match. It not only has to be those words in the phrase, but in that order.
In that order, right.
Yeah, back to ideal leads.
Right. Phrase matching is you have to have the 3 words in the sentence, but the order doesn't matter. So, and that's, by the way, one of the things that's going to keep your pay-per-click cost down is please look into phrase matching and exact matching. The exact matching, like she has here, is plus signs. Phrase matching, I believe, uses the brackets, if I'm not mistaken. And Google...
Or quotes.
Or quotes, yes. I'm sorry, quotes is for that.
Yep.
So do not ever put a search phrase in Google without the plus signs or the quotes or the brackets around it. So that's definitely going to cut down on your budget right there. Okay, let's get into what's called display advertising. And I know you're talking about display advertising on Facebook and display advertising in Google. Display advertising is a little bit different than pay-per-click, in that pay-per-click is people searching for the thing that you are buying. If I'm searching for a new homes carry, I'm actively shopping for that. Display advertising is more like bus stop billboard kind of stuff. You are putting a banner of information in front of someone's eyes over and over and over to get your branding out there, to remind them that, hey, they were shopping for that yesterday. Here's a company that sells that particular product or service. So you go to CNN, for example, or you go to ESPN, you see banner ads all over the place, and you think they're kind of annoying, and some of you put ad blockers up. That's display advertising. You work with your web development team or your web marketing team, and you come up with the banners, the colorful banners with your call to action on them, and talks about your business, and they have to be the right size because every website has different specification size. Facebook is interesting because Facebook only has display advertising. Facebook, not yet. Facebook is not a search engine. So all those banners you see in the middle of Facebook or over on the right-hand side, that's all display advertising in Facebook. How do you do display advertising on Facebook? Well, I think we all know that Facebook gathers a lot of information about us. Facebook knows our age. Facebook knows our hobbies. Facebook knows where we live. And Facebook is also pretty good about getting outside information about us. As a person who's poking around on Facebook looking at our grandkids' pictures, that can be a little bit scary. But as a business owner, I'm going to tell you this is very powerful. It's going to give you a lot of really good targeting information, which Meredith has pointed out is how you get your ideal leads. Part of that is the message, but part of that is also targeting the ideal people on Facebook. So if Facebook knows your browsing and shopping habits, you can use that in your targeting. Facebook also looks at the pages you like and figures out the hobbies you like, the areas you're from, and all the other things you're interested in. You can use this in your targeting. And here in a little bit, we're going to get into an actual Facebook ad so you can see how we do target some of this stuff. Facebook is also really good about importing external information about us for targeting. And I'm getting ready to show you a screen where basically Facebook knows kind of the income ranges, which is really important for those home builders that target certain income ranges. I think we were talking to someone back over here who basically has two different niche markets, kind of the below 300,000 market and the above 300,000 market. When you want to know that information, though, you need to know the income of the person and also their credit rating. That's information that's available in Facebook. And I'm going to caution you that as a person who's browsing Facebook for personal uses or for social uses, it's scary information, but there are all kinds of directories of information that you can use out there, and my real goal is to get in here and start talking about this. The credit and general income information is something I really want you to pay attention to also, because you can target people with better credit ratings. You can target people with higher income levels. Does anyone here really, would you say, really works like the luxury home side of things? 500,000 plus, $1 million plus? You really don't want to be targeting the people that are making $20,000 to $30,000 a year. You're not going to get anywhere with them. So over on Facebook, as you're building your ad campaigns, your display ad campaigns, and for some of you that have done this before, this is what you get. You get a bunch of information, personal information about the people that you can target. You can find people that are likely to move, and you can target by income level. One of the things I would suggest to you someone had a question there. One of the things I would suggest is you're working inside Facebook. If you're someone who has multiple markets like this, don't try to spread a wide blanket. And that's kind of a general rule for building campaigns in the first place. Focus on small niche markets. You can focus on new families. You can focus on families likely to move. You can focus on families with a certain number of kids. You can focus on people with certain credit ratings. Is anyone here right now doing this with their Facebook advertising? I see a couple of hands here. Give me an example of another kind of criteria you would use as a home builder. What's that? The age? You can target demographic information, so you can target the age range. You can target the sex. I hear some advertisers, when they're working inside of home building, sometimes like to target the female half of the couple because that's the person that really makes the buying decision. What were you going to say? You can target education level. Zillow? People who are shopping on Zillow. What's something else unique that you found that you can target? Because there's so much information out there. Net worth is a good one out there. People connected to employers. If you have a big employer, that's always a good one. In Oklahoma City, we have Hertz as a big employer. The FAA is a big employer. You can target those people connected to those certain things. Yes, Meredith.
One of the things that I would try to remember with your Facebook is you're not just looking for buyers, you're also targeting realtors. If they're big in your market, you do a lot of co-op. So I do a member of National Association of Realtors, employer names, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams.
Things like that. realtors, brokers, mortgage brokers. I mean, there's just various people you can target there. But the important thing is make sure you don't cast a wide net. Subdivide these into individual small campaigns that you can use for targeting. Here are some other information you can use right here. And what's really cool about this is Facebook kind of cross-references this information and says, hey, I want to target people that meet this criteria and this criteria and this criteria and this criteria. By the way, something else that's really cool that Meredith briefly pointed out is you can also upload your own information into Facebook for targeting information. Is anyone here really big on like building an email list of past clients and reaching out to them on a regular basis? You can upload that into Facebook also and use that for targeting information. And it's all about the precision and making sure we do this to hit our ideal leads. And what's going to happen is as you put this information inside of Facebook, and okay, I didn't have a screenshot of it here. As you're putting this information inside of Facebook, on the right-hand side, what it does is it shows you how many people are in that target audience. So when you're building your ad campaign, for example, you're going to say the city that you're in, the state that you're in, the ideal age range you're going to target, their income information, and the more information you put inside Facebook, on the right-hand side, it's going to tell you how big that audience is. And that's the key thing in Facebook, is you're building that audience to market to. Now, something else in addition to display marketing, which I really like, is the retargeting. I was talking to some of you about this right here. Is anyone else doing retargeting right now? Is it working out pretty well for you? Yes. Have you ever been on a website like Amazon and you shop for something, and all of a sudden you go over to ESPN or you go over to CNN or something like that, and you're seeing ads for that particular thing on that website right there? That's retargeting. Again, sometimes it can be annoying as a consumer, but as a business owner, it's pretty cool stuff. Why is that? You're hitting up people and you're displaying advertising to people who are already interested in what you were shopping for. As a matter of fact, when we set up marketing campaigns, retargeting is the first thing I like to do because it's existing traffic. If you're a builder and you get 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 hits a month on your website, that's building an audience of people you can already market to. You don't have to start with this right here where you're hitting up cold people. You can target those people who are already on your website shopping for homes. Not only that, you can target people on your website that were shopping for specific subsections of your homes. Let's say your website covers 5 different housing additions in 5 different parts of the city. You can build an audience. Let's say in Oklahoma City that you have Edmond, you have Oklahoma City, you have Norman, you have Yukon, and you have Midwest City. I think I just drew a cross right there, Oklahoma City from memory right there. If I'm a home builder and I have those 5 markets right there, and I can target the people that are already shopping in Midwest City and display Midwest City ads to them. Or I can target the people that are at my homepage. Or I can target the people that are in Norman. So one of the things I would encourage you to do, if you haven't done so yet, is go to Facebook, and over in the marketing side of Facebook, over in the campaign side of Facebook, you can get a little bit of code and put it on your website that starts to build that audience. That's something you can do from free for day one. So the day, if this is something that you're interested in, the day you get back from this conference, go over into your Facebook ad campaign, grab what's known as your retargeting pixel, and have your web person put that on your website. And if you don't know how to do it, or it seems complicated how to do it, you know what? There's that big thing out there called Google that Meredith talked about. There's plenty of instructions out there to do it. But it's free traffic. It's free targeted traffic. It's the right people that are already shopping. And I like to spend a lot of time on that because, like I said, that's existing traffic that you can take advantage of. And by the way, you can do the retargeting on Google also. This is what I was talking about here. Go to your ad campaign, grab that small piece of code, put it on your website. Put it on every single page on your website. A lot of you run WordPress for a website. There are places in WordPress where you can put the code back there and you can say, I want this on every single page of my website. Over time, Facebook will build an audience of the people shopping for what you're selling. So the longer you have it on there, the more of an audience you have it built up. It's not going to build a huge audience after 1 week, but after a month or 2, you're going to have thousands of people in that audience shopping for what you're looking for. I already talked about the pages on your website that they're browsing. So you can build that based on their browsing habits, and then what you get are things like this right here. This is another sample website of mine. What I've done over here, does the red laser thing work? There it is. Here's the audience name you're building right here. It's a custom audience, and that's the number of people that are in the audience right there. Ready means people are being actively added to it. This is from that little piece of code I put on the website. What I like to do is I like to build audiences based on different number of shopping days. People who have been shopping on my website in the past 6 months, what's that, month and a half, 2 months, and these are the ones who I really like to target right there. Why? Those are hot prospects right there. Do you have a particular number of audience sizes that you like to build, Meredith, or did I pick some good general numbers right here?
Yeah, no, that's great.
So I always like to have an audience that covers every single person that comes to the website, but I like to do it based on number of days right here, and I also like to do it based on certain pages. A lot of you have Google Analytics installed on your website, and inside Google Analytics, you can go in and analyze what are the more popular pages on your website. Someone who's browsing a real popular page is an ideal prospect, and you probably want to have some special marketing for that particular person. If you target 3 particular neighborhoods, and one of those neighborhoods is more popular, you can set up an audience that says, for my particular case, Oklahoma City, Edmond. Let's say Edmond's the more popular page, I can target those people just shopping in Edmond. Build based on buying cycle. And by the way, does anybody do this already? Does anyone do retargeting based on the number of days? No one raised their hand? It's something you guys can basically take advantage of immediately that probably nobody else in your market is taking advantage of. And what's really cool is you can cross-reference these audiences. So maybe you display a certain kind of advertising to the people that are really hot, the 7-day people. Maybe they've cooled off, so I want to target maybe the people that have been there the past 60 days, but not the past 7 days. So you can basically target, say, I want someone who's in this audience who has had this shopping habit, who hasn't had this shopping habit. Does that make sense? Someone who's been there in the past 60 days, but not the past 7 days. You with me? Got it? Now, Google display advertising is, to me, very much like Facebook display advertising. On Google display advertising, you are building banners to display on websites. And you see them all over the place. At some point in time, you start turning them out, you just see so many banner ads. But as someone who builds homes, I would encourage you to look into this. Meredith talked about the pay-per-click side of Facebook. That's where you bid on the different keyword phrases, and you saw how she had the listing that showed up based on the phrases you bid on? Google display advertising is based more on some of the Facebook information I saw where basically you're targeting a particular niche or a particular demographic or a particular interest. You can target people on Google who are in a certain age range. You can target people on Google who are actively interested in buying a home right now. You can target people on Google who have a certain hobby. And you build these banners, and these banners are going to show up on the various websites where they shop on. So you have Google search, which is right here, what they're actually searching for right now. Google display advertising is more the billboard type of stuff. Is anyone right here using any Google display advertising? So out of curiosity, how do you target your ads?
Similarly, using keywords.
Okay, for the display advertising. Do you also do any particular Google display ads based on like the websites in your local area? Okay. One of the things I really like to do is target my display ads based on the news websites. If you go to your local news website in your city, you're going to notice your news website has a lot of advertising on it. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, the number of banner ads that appear on a news website. Sometimes it's hard to read the news. There are so many banner ads on a news website. You want yours in that mix, as long as it's ideal for you. And of course, Google has the retargeting that we talked about over on Facebook. Okay, here's an example right here, and this is one I grabbed right here from CNN. This is a company where I went and I shopped for their particular, I can't remember what city they were in, or Orlando. Goodness gracious, of course I picked a good example. Orlando, right there. They have the Google retargeting code on their website. Remember I said in Facebook you can grab that little piece of code and put it over on your website? You can do the same thing with Google. Put that little piece of code on your website, and then as a home builder, you can start to follow them around the internet. Whether it's over on ESPN or over on CNN or over on one of the news websites, your banner ad can start appearing here all over the place. Is anybody else doing this right now when it comes to the retargeting side? Are you doing the retargeting side? You're doing the retargeting side? What websites do you choose to target? Are they like news websites? Are they local sports websites? How do you select that?
They're mostly news websites, and you also need to be careful to exclude. There can be some websites that may not want your ad.
This is probably true also. How Google chooses how to display these ads based on people just putting the code on their website. So you have to be very careful and be very selective about where you choose to display your ads. He brings up a very good point. CNN, a lot of people are going to CNN, regardless of your politics, or whether it's CNN or Fox or your local news websites, people are spending a lot of time there. So you can pick that size. I believe that ad up there, right there, is probably like a 300 by 250 ad. This is another one here, same company. What you do is you build the ad a certain size, and then you can display it on various sections of that website. Over on Google, this is how you target how you're going to display that ad. You pick your criteria on the left-hand side here, what people are interested in, commercial properties, residential properties, apartments for sale, things like that. And then over on the right-hand side, Google is showing you how big that audience is going to be. And this works very much the same way on Facebook. As you're picking your criteria on the left-hand side, the right-hand side of the page is showing you approximately how many impressions you're going to get per week or per month. It'll tell you on the page. And like you saw in one of Meredith's images right there, marketing is a lot about the number of impressions, and the number of impressions is going to cause a certain number of clicks, and a certain number of clicks is going to cause a certain number of conversions. And a conversion in most cases, and I'm kind of curious Meredith's take on this, conversions in most cases for a home builder is somebody calling a phone number or filling out a contact form. Has anyone here ever sold has anyone ever sold a home just from a website? Someone goes, drops the home in your shopping cart, goes to the shopping cart, clicks checkout, and pays you $300,000? No, we got to close that stuff on the phone right there. So in my world, my job is to make the phone ring, and that's what counts as a conversion right here. Make the phone ring or get someone to fill out a contact form. But it's all about measuring the total number of impressions you get for your ads, and from that, the number of clicks, and from that, the conversions, which you guys do offline. Any questions about this stuff so far? You guys are getting all this stuff? Sir, yes?
You talked about filtering by income. What about for dual income families?
I don't know, Meredith. What about dual income families? Does it count as total household income, do you think?
You can do household income, net worth. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to go back to who's your audience.
Facebook is smart enough then to combine, I guess it was by married or whatever that is.
Yeah, household income.
I think there's household income and there's probably individual income. The challenging thing with Facebook is there's so many things to pick from sometimes. But you should be able to pick from household income and individual income, and then Facebook will target those profiles. What Facebook does is Facebook has, whether it's credit agencies or their outside data sources, Facebook pulls that in and associates that with our Facebook profile, and then we can choose that in our targeting process.
And in the next section, I'm getting ready to do how to track conversions in detail. And that's where, once you set it up and you start tracking it and figuring it out, and then you can adjust income as you need to. Okay? So sit tight on that.
Yeah. You got another question?
Those demographics, then, how quickly can you get that reporting? When are those available?
As far as the result of your advertising?
Yeah, to see what I'm targeting is really what I should be. I mean, how?
Hourly. I mean, all the reporting you get back from Facebook and from Google is updated on a regular basis. It really is. That's how come if you're not careful, for example, you can shoot your ad budget out the door in a couple of hours in the morning, if you're really not careful. And I've done it before. If you ever want to find a place on the internet to spend like $1,000 in 2 hours, Google advertising is the place to do it. So I'll get you we went over here. Yes, sir.
You mentioned uploading past clients or database into Facebook.
Right.
Expand on that just a little bit.
Okay, really briefly, what you can do, what we do for some of our clients is if you have information, particularly email addresses, about past clients, you can upload that into Facebook. Facebook will match up the Facebook profiles with that information, then you can display advertising to those people. So let's say over there, let's say you're a builder, you've been in business 30 years, and you've built up an email list of 5,000 email addresses. People have probably signed up with Facebook with some of those email addresses. So you would upload those 5,000 email addresses into Facebook. Facebook would chew on it for a couple of hours and come back and say, oh, I found matches for 3,000 of them. You now have an audience size of 3,000, and all this display advertising we're talking about, you can display it to those 3,000 people. And what you can also do, and this is one of the things one of the reasons I find digital marketing so exciting, is you can also go into Facebook and say, you know what, I want another 2 million people that look just like those 3,000 people. You really will. You had a question over here, sir.
Yeah, your opinion, like ROI versus display advertising versus like just boosting on posts.
I never touch that boost post button. The boosting post gives you basically a really easy way to spend money with very little targeting.
Can I disagree?
Okay, she can disagree.
I don't know. I do it all the time.
Okay.
So,
Do you do it for your business or for your builders?
Oh, for the builders.
For the builders.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I've kind of shied away from because I spend a lot of time personally in almost like back in the ad manager in Facebook. And I've gotten out of the habit of touching it. Now, it might have gotten better over the years, and I may be an old fogey in Facebook time, which makes me like, what, five years is an old fogey in Facebook time.
No.
It just used to be when you click that boost post button, you don't get too much criteria to select from. And the smaller number of targeting criteria you get, or the less number of data points you can target, you spend more on advertising, you get less out of it. So if you're going to boost a post, I would do something like, learn how Meredith does it to make sure you get the most out of your particular money. I've had personally not the best experience with it, but it's probably because I just don't use that function that much. Yes, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry. The light's right above you. I really apologize.
I was just going to say that if you set up a custom audience, then you can use it in your boosted posts as well.
Okay, that's probably the best way to do it right there. Any other questions about this particular function? No, we're good here. Really quick also, as you're going inside Facebook, as you're going inside Google and targeting your audiences, it's going to give you the demographic information, which some of you were talking about right here. Google retargeting, just a couple of really quick tips on that. Really important. Like I said, it's one of the first things that you should be focusing on as you take over an advertising campaign. And I like to, when you build a new website, I like to put the Google retargeting and the Facebook retargeting things on the website from day one. So as you get back from the conference here, get with your web person and have them put that on your website or Google how to do it yourself. Build those audiences I talked about, okay, and separate people into hot, warm, and cold prospects. And also, and I don't know what Meredith's take on this, because Meredith and I don't agree on everything, but I don't like to send traffic to my homepage.
Oh.
Okay, I got a 2 thumbs up from Meredith. And if I get 2 thumbs up from Meredith, it's really good. The whole point of the title of the presentation was ideal prospects. The purpose of your homepage is for someone to go to figure out where they have to really go to. It's I don't know where I'm going yet, so I'm going to go to the homepage. That's why you have menu options. That's why you have bright buttons. The first thing you have to do on a homepage is figure out where to send people. From your advertising, you already have a decent idea of what they're interested in. Send them to a homepage that has to do with a particular home style. Send them to a page that has to do with a particular home style. Send them to a page that has to do with a particular city or a particular neighborhood. Do not send that traffic to your homepage. And a couple of display marketing best practices I'd like to leave you with. Know that some of your digital marketing money is for testing. Every single dollar you spend is not going to result in a conversion. It's going to result in you testing and learning and testing and learning. It also takes time, like the SEO Meredith talked about. It takes time to get some of this stuff working very well. Good marketing is also a lot about testing, is that using multiple images, using lots of phrasing, possibly getting a copywriter involved. A lot of this stuff is testing and improving, testing and improving. Something converts at 5%, take that, work on it, come up with some other variations of it, get it converting at 10%, get it converting at 15%. A lot of this stuff is iteration and testing. There's no such thing as deploying a perfect digital marketing campaign out of the gate. Smaller campaigns are better for targeting, and also, just so you know, you're going to see that you have numbers, Google Analytics numbers over here, and you're going to see conversion numbers over here, and you're going to see Facebook numbers over here, and oftentimes it's going to seem like these numbers should match, and they won't. Don't get concerned about that. You may see that you have this number of clicks on this web page, but your ad says you should have had more clicks. The way the internet works is that as you go from platform to platform, your numbers never match. It's just a reality of working on the internet. Some people get really concerned that, my ad says I had 20 clicks, but my website says I only had 5 clicks. That's just the reality of advertising on the internet. And now I'm going to turn it back over to the magic lady in shoes, Meredith.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Good job. Thank you so much, right? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so some of you have probably experienced this where you've hired a digital marketing consultant or agency to give you advice, and they gave you exactly the opposite advice that the last one gave you, which didn't agree with the advice you got in the class that you went to at the Builder Show, which didn't agree with the post that you saw on Facebook about digital marketing, right? And so it is perfectly okay, it's okay with us, that we necessarily might have a different approach. And people are going to recommend different approaches to you, and that's okay as long as you can quantify the results. And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do next. Maybe a boosted post is the best way for you to go. Maybe the Google ads are the best way for you to go. How do you know? It's all in the conversion numbers. I love this quote that half of the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The problem is I don't know which half. Yikes, that is not where we want to be. We do not want to be trying to figure out how to use our measuring tape to determine if our Google ads are working, etc. So your Google Analytics on your website is going to be your very best measurement tool. There are 2 types of reports that must be set up within Google Analytics to properly measure this traffic. And that is the goal conversion report and the event tracking report. I'm going to go over both of those. The second tool, of course, is your CRM, your customer relationship management software. It is your cash machine. That is what I call CRM, is your cash machine, because your leads are in there and your job is to mine the CRM and get the leads out so that you can follow up with them and make money. So your CRM tool is also going to provide you with important tracking. And then third is tracking all of your inbound traffic by tracking your calls, using a service where you can track your calls, your live chats, tracking how many people are clicking on which links. If you have these 3 tools in place, you will know which half of your money is being spent wisely. So the first thing let's do is talk about the Google Analytics, and let's talk about the goal conversion report. This is a screenshot of a home builder website. And you'll see on here that the live chat on the site was responsible for 12 goal conversions in the last 30 days. That's incredible. So that's telling me that that live chat is working. A goal conversion is when someone completes a form on your website and clicks submit. It can be a request a tour form. It can be a schedule an appointment. It can be a information about financing, or a realtor registering a client that they're planning to bring out. So it's any of your forms on your website. When someone completes it, click submit, Google Analytics will count it as a goal conversion. You can see here that the newsletter was 10 goal conversions. The request info button was 9, the schedule a tour 6, etc. So this goal conversion report serves you 2 purposes. Number 1, it tells you which forms on your website produce the most leads. And hands down, with home builders, it's typically a request a tour call to action or a request for pricing. It sounds crazy to say request for pricing, right, Patrick? The pricing's on the website. I'm telling you, we do this call to action all the time, and people request it all day long. I don't know, I don't get it, but it works. So your goal conversion report will tell you how many conversions you're getting per form on the website. But the magic, it's magic, mommy. The magic is it'll also tell you what source sent the most goal conversions. So the Google paid ads in this case generated 21 leads in the previous 31 days. That's incredible. The Google organic produced 19, and you can see down the list here. So this goal conversion report is really going to tell you where your leads are coming from. Now, of course, if you have a CRM set up, you can also get lead source tracking out of your CRM as well. One of the beautiful things about this goal conversion tracking here, this is the Google display ads, and the Google AdWords, and you can see the nationwide campaign. Here's the remarketing ads here. Here's the local, and which one of these 3 AdWords campaigns performed the most in terms of goals? You tell me, which one? Hint? Nationwide. So now I know to double down on this campaign and that these 2 campaigns need additional work. So that's where I was telling you, and your point of part of your budget, that's genius. I hadn't heard anybody say that. That's genius. That part of your money is testing in your budget. But when we start looking at these goal conversions, Patrick, boom, now we know, right? So here's the other thing. If you're the owner of your business, are you looking at this stuff at least once a month? Your website is an asset to your business. Just like your physical space that you've built, your office space, any trucks that you own, your website is an actual asset and it needs some of your attention. Now, of course, you have maybe a marketing person that you hire or you outsource to, they're your partner and they should lead you. But I don't know if you realize this, in Google Analytics, you can set up a report to be emailed to you once a month, once a week, once a day, however often you want to look at it, and it'll just land in your inbox and kind of force you to take a look. Start getting more educated on this stuff. We were talking earlier to somebody that's had a lot of frustrations with their web company, and I'm not telling you to become a Google expert. That is not your job. You build homes. But if you knew the right questions to ask and the right reports to look at, it would help you find the right people to help you. So I hope that that makes sense. Event tracking looks like this. So goal conversion tracking, the way that I do it, and there are many ways to do it, and we can agree or disagree on how to do it. The way I do it is goal conversion tracking I only use on submitting a form on the website. I use event tracking, this is a separate report, to tell me what are people clicking on. Now, there are experts out there that do form submissions through event tracking, and I like to keep it clean in my analytics, so I do it that way, but there's many ways. But event tracking will tell me what are people clicking on. So I can see that the Century Farm PDF download a brochure in the last 30 days has had 100 clicks. Now, Patrick, how could you take an event tracking number like that? That's a popular community. They're clicking on it on the website. What could you go and do then on Facebook or with retargeting with it?
I could build an audience and target them.
You could, see how it works together? You could build an audience and target them, right? So then also, whoever's doing the website knows, hey, those little download a PDF brochures that we all put on there, people actually click on those. Again, it's like you're looking at the web page. Why do I need one of those? Because I know they click on them and I can prove it to you. So that's what event tracking does. All right, one more point, I'm gonna come back to you. Are you tracking your call traffic? There are websites, services out there like Call Rail, like a train track rail, like Call Rail, that you can have a unique phone number a unique phone number on your website, and a unique phone number in your print ad, a unique phone number on your billboard. And then as calls come in, we know, hey, the Google ads that had a certain phone number, those calls came in from that, and you get credit because the website can't track the calls, right? So we don't know. There's link tracking. If you use a free website like Bitly, bit.ly, and like, let's say you're going to do a social campaign and put a link to your website on there, you can embed a little Bitly link instead of your whole big long URL, and then track how many clicks it got. So it's just a fun thing to do, link tracking. And as I was showing you in the Google Analytics, your live chat can be tied into all of this so that you can have your numbers on how many people have chatted with you. Oh, that seems like a lot, doesn't it? It's okay. Patrick and I are real geeky about this stuff, and we love it. And we're not trying to turn you into experts, but we want you to know enough to ask the right questions to manage it effectively. I think you had a point.
Yeah, go back to your one slide, please.
Yes. Which one did you want? This
more?
one
Yeah.
here?
No, forward.
This one.
We were talking about building an audience based on what people click on. The smart thing you do is you build an audience for people clicking on the Century Farm brochure, and what does the ad say? Interested in Century Farm. You're gonna have a high chance of getting that click because you know what they were interested in.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Cartwright ad. Build the ad that says interested in Cartwright Ranch. So it's important to make sure that that ad, the verbiage and the language on that ad matches that audience, and you're gonna get all these kind of cool audience informations from the clicks that Meredith is tracking right there.
Perfect point. Thank you. Your CRM. I can't stress to you how much you need a CRM. And I know that, it feels like a lot of work and it feels like it's hard, but these are so important to your business. All of your leads from your website, from your model homes, they must go in your CRM. Right, Robert? Robert has an awesome CRM, Smart Touch Interactive, and you can talk to him about that one. There's many of them here at the show, and they must go in the CRM. So we're just showing you on this little graphic, all your traffic sources here go into your CRM, and it generates reports like source type, year-to-date leads, conversion for online leads. I just made these numbers up. Please don't take a picture of that like that's gospel. It's just a graphic. But it's just the idea that between your Google Analytics, your Facebook reports, your Google AdWords reports, and your CRM, you'll start to get a picture of what is real. Speaking of real, I'm going to tie back to the very beginning when I told you that one of my favorite action heroes is Jessica Real, a trained assassin, and she lives in the books by David Baldacci. And all throughout the latest book, where she saved the world from imminent doom over and over again, she said one thing: luck has nothing to do with it. And when it comes to attracting your ideal leads into your business and converting them into sales, Patrick and I would both agree that while there's some testing and some practicing and some tweaking, luck has got nothing to do with it. Thank you guys so much.
Right,
Thank
Meredith.
you so much. We've got a couple minutes yet. If you have a question, please come and ask us. If you want the deck, hand us a card and we'll be sure that you get it. Thanks, guys.